Episode 20 of the Roommates podcast starts now.
It's a wild. We're up to 20. I don't know if you think so.
I think it's strange. Not really wild, but strange.
Well, yeah.
I feel like it's something that we probably would have forgot about this point when we first started this. I don't know if we thought we would have got this far. But here we are.
I feel like we
Still
need
going.
to ask for their opinion, too. On
Ask
something.
them.
Okay, folks. Let us know. So, we're debating what we want to do. Kind of.
For summer.
For summer. Because obviously, as we mentioned, he lives in Oklahoma. I live in Nebraska. We're debating if we want to do just seasons. So, like, when we're actually together in the room. Or if we want to do it over summer.
So, like, when we finish in spring, when the last episode of the spring comes, it would be the last episode of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then season 2 would start up next fall in August.
Yeah.
It would probably not. It wouldn't go during fall camp because we wouldn't have time.
Yeah, we're like busy.
Or unless we were doing it in the GSD time, the get stuff done time. Or there's typically a different word in there for the S, but
No, it is stuff.
not with the receivers. We call it
Oh.
a different thing.
Yeah.
We replace stuff with another word that
That's
starts
fair.
with S. But
So
like we could do it in that time, but that's like saying, oh yeah, here, film and edit an entire podcast
Yeah.
in 4 hours and then go to meetings in the afternoon, which
Yeah.
would be difficult to try to keep up with. So basically, should we try to figure out how to film over the summer via Zoom, which wouldn't be too difficult, we could do
No.
it. Or should we have seasons where starting when school starts, we start season 2, which would start next year. And then we can make them playlists. I can put them in playlists in orders. That way it's no big deal. But
I feel like doing it over summer would be kind of nice. would
yeah,
just
because
be
that's, but I mean, the only professional sport really is baseball.
Yeah.
And there's
And
not
I mean,
college
I guess
sports.
racing too.
And racing, but there's not college sports.
We would
So
just
we
be
would
talking
just
about
be
the
doing,
transfer portal.
yeah. And it's not really going to be a bunch in the summer
No.
because transfer portal it like really is mainly a spring thing. So right now it'd be the only time you would hear transfer portal stuff.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think. We can obviously keep it going in the summer. Summer episodes would just be really, really short, and they would not cover that much. And they'd only be once a week because we wouldn't have any college sports to talk about. So
We could talk about our lifting. I mean,
I'm not doing that.
no.
But so give us ideas. If you
Yeah.
think we should go ahead and do it, and if you do think we should do an episode once a week over the summer, and because there's some professional sport we're forgetting about that you would want to hear us talk about, let us know. We'll look into what their summer schedule looks like, and we will probably add it to the. If we do decide to film an episode once a week over the summer, we will probably go ahead and
It could
Add
also
it
help
in there.
us maybe get guests involved too.
especially with Zoom, we would be able to.
Dude, we could get Coach Dab on.
We could get Dab on an episode. We could get, although he's probably got a bunch of Zooms he's having to get on for GPAC and things like that.
Maybe.
But, get him on a Zoom, get like Jabo on a Zoom or whatever.
Speaking of Joe, he's going to join us for an episode. Shout out
I
to
forgot
Jabo.
to text him earlier. But my phone
Well, I
is
mean-
just now charged enough to actually record this episode. So,
Well, I mean, we
We'll figure it
also
out.
don't know the day we're going to do that just yet.
yeah, we'll
We're
figure
going
it
to
out.
do a spring ball and GPAC rundown with him. All right.
We'll figure it out. All right, now that all the
Questions are done. Back to
what you
this.
call it. Now all the business is taken care
Yes.
of. Let's talk about sports.
Josiah, baseball's back, baby. The Mets and Brewers cleared the benches on day one.
I actually, this is ironic that I chose to wear what I'm wearing right now.
I hate your Rangers.
Sorry, defending champs walked it off against his Cubs in
Yeah.
game 1.
It sucked.
It was great.
But baseball's back. The bench is cleared. Some lady slapped a guy in the stands. I forgot where.
No hitter for the Astros. It took us less than 1 week. The Angels offense is still being the Angels offense, which is just Mike Trout's ability to hit a baseball 400 feet.
Yep.
So, and Shohei Ohtani, no home runs in 7 games for the Dodgers so far, or whatever, how many games they've played. Is the show officially over? No, it's definitely not. It's just a slow start and a new team. It happens.
Yeah.
But, we'll have to see. Mets Brewers, obviously, you were talking about, cleared the benches.
It took one game to already have a benches clearing brawl. Well, not really a brawl. They didn't really fight. But is there a shortstop for the Mets? He got slid into.
Francis. Oh yeah, Lindor.
No, it wasn't Lindor. It was their second baseman then, I think.
Nimmo?
Who was it? Someone got slid into.
I think it was Lindor. Or no. Yeah, no? Lindor, I think, is their second baseman. Unless I'm blanking. Or their shortstop. It'd be Lindor and Nimmo, unless I'm wrong.
Let's see. Well, their pitcher was suspended because he threw back at him.
That's great. And Rhys Hoskins got suspended.
Is that who? Johan Ramirez was his suspension was reduced because he appealed it. We really should have had this prepared.
Well,
yeah.
Because if my baseball knowledge is correct,
Jeff McNeil, at second base.
Yeah, Jeff. Okay, so it isn't Nimmo anymore. Nimmo, I guess, is in their outfield because McNeil used to be a rotational guy between shortstop and second base when Lindor was hurt. So it was McNeil. That makes sense because he used to be a rotational guy. But now Lindor's healthy. They moved him back to second.
Rins Hopkins was the dude who slid in. Rhys
Hopkins. Yeah, it was on Rhys Hopkins. He lifted his foot. He slid in to stop a double play, and you're not allowed to do that. You're supposed to avoid the person on the bag. The person on the bag should not have to take evasive action to not be cleated in the shin.
Yeah.
So
it was
getting cleated in the shin hurts.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never played baseball, it's like taking a dull metal object and having it stabbed into your leg at like 15 miles an hour. It's not great. It hurts like a son of a gun. And I mean, they're not sharp. Like, they're not going to cut you if you were to like try to cut a piece of paper with them. But they're sharp enough that they can cut through skin if you're hit at the right angle. I have had scars on my legs from when I played baseball of getting cleated because I was dumb and didn't call a ball in the outfield, and me and a teammate collided, and he cut my calf all to pieces with his cleats. I was wearing plastic cleats because I was still a freshman. I didn't know if I wanted to keep playing baseball, so I wasn't going to invest in some nice cleats.
That's fair.
I just wore my old football ones.
That's
probably why I hurt my knee playing baseball, but it's
probably.
Whatever. I quit baseball after that season anyway. I made the right decision not buying nice cleats.
Turning to March Madness, our brackets died with our hopes and dreams over the Sweet 16.
Also, our teams were the ones who died. Creighton and UNC both decided they were not going to play good. So did Arizona. Caleb Love and RJ Davis decided they were going to both shoot 0 for 9 in elimination games and the last half while they were both down. And we lost to Bama, and it was a 2-point game, and it was the worst half of basketball I've ever watched for North Carolina. It was bad.
The thing with Creighton was, I knew they weren't going to beat Tennessee, right?
Because then Tennessee went and gave UConn
Zach Edey
a fight.
Yeah. But Trey Alexander did not play his best basketball, which that was frightening. And it's like, what? Like, you're going to the NBA. What are you doing here, kid?
Yeah.
So that was a little upsetting. Kalk played like Ryan Kalkbrenner. Baylor Sharpman played like he's a god and trying to prove he's NBA ready. Stephen Ashworth, happy, by the way, congrats, Stephen just had a kid, or announced that he's having a kid.
He's in college still, and he's having a kid.
The man... Oh, I couldn't find his age when I was trying to look it up the other day for Rezak. But yeah, like they all played better, but Trey just wasn't there, felt like. But the one thing I have to say to you is that one Bama Willie dude that I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. His bracket's looking pretty good right now.
And I am about to the point with that. I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide that we may have to restart this stinking counter over here. And it would not be a good time because I would have to cut out 30 seconds of me just dropping my frustration out. But I don't like the Tide. It was very upsetting. Bama Baycott didn't play like he should have. In fact, North Carolina basketball team should all be ashamed of themselves for how they played in the second half versus Alabama. I couldn't have done any better. Trust me, I am a god-awful basketball player. But these guys were like 4- and 5-star recruits coming out of high school. And for Baycott's sake, he's been in the stinking NCAA basketball realm since 2019. And RJ Davis has been playing NCAA basketball since 2020. And they didn't do crap against Alabama's basketball team. So, I'm still frustrated with that game. Me and my dad had a good old phone call contemplating why we were fans of the North Carolina Tar Heels and their whatever you want to call the second half against Bama. I don't know. There's not words in my vocabulary that could describe it. So
you guys just got Nick Pringled. Sorry, I love that dude's name of Nick Pringle.
He looks like he walks down the streets of Alabama, yells racial slurs, and gets handed money for it.
I don't know if you can say that on YouTube. We'll find out.
I don't care. That's what he looks like. I'm not lying.
Yeah,
he's a 6'7" white dude with a mullet.
Yeah,
he looks like he gets praise for yelling racial slurs down the streets of Alabama.
Zach Edey, he got a lot of fouls called for him. He's big man, and it's kind of crazy.
Zach Edey is the reason I hate watching college basketball, because it is just no fun to watch Purdue basketball. When Carson Edwards was on the team, it was so much fun because they ran their offense like a normal team. Instead of giving it to a 7'4" dude who wants to get 11 fouls drawn and shoot 22 free throws and make 14 of them. At least if you're going to get fouled that much, make 80% of your free throws, 70% of your free throws.
Hack-a-Shaq.
Shaq was actually competent at playing basketball. Edey is just big. If Edey was 7 feet tall, he would not be playing D1 basketball because he's just that unskilled. But because he's 7'4", he doesn't have to be skilled.
You seen the video of him pitching in baseball?
He's probably unskilled at that, too.
No, he's actually pretty good.
Well, when you're 7'4", you are able to bring more velocity on your pitches. The taller you are, the better a pitcher you are because you can throw faster.
Somebody mad.
I just hate watching Zach Edey. I hate people who are projecting him to be a lottery pick, because if he does get picked in the lottery, whoever took him needs to fire that entire front office that scouted him as a lottery pick, because he's 7'4" and has not taken a jumper outside of 3 feet in this tournament, or in his career for that matter. His one 3-point attempt didn't make it halfway down the paint. So, yeah, don't draft him at all. Let him go play overseas, where he can go be his hack-a-shack. He can go be the hack-a-shack of the Taiwanese league. For all I care. He'll go just replace Dwight Howard on the Shanghai Sharks.
Guangdong Tigers.
Yeah, the Guangdong Tigers.
In women's March Madness news, in Portland for their Sweet 16 game, yeah,
plural, because they played multiple games there.
The court was what am I trying to say here?
It was wet.
No.
Or no.
The 3-point lines were not the same length.
I know what you're talking about now. I thought you were talking about when Caitlin Clark had to hand the ball back to the ref because it was still wet.
That too, but so yeah, that happened. But the big one coming out of there was LSU,
reigning national champ.
They lost obviously to Caitlin Clark, but
who
they
had 41 and is tied her own record for most points in the March Madness game, which she's had 41 3 times at this point.
Yeah.
Only player in March Madness history to have 3 40-point games in her career in tournament play.
The biggest thing coming there was that they weren't on the court for the national anthem, which their own governor of Louisiana even said that they should pull all scholarships because of that, and there's something going on with him saying that they're trying to pass stuff about it. What's your thoughts about it?
If they want to pull everyone's scholarship, pull everyone except for Haley Van Lith.
She might go to the draft, so.
Well, then I will be watching the WNBA draft, and I will have a new favorite WNBA team.
My thing with it, coming from a family who has military, and the part that made me frustrated a little bit was Kim Mulkey saying, they didn't know that the anthem was going on. Because we're both college players.
You know when the anthem's going on.
Like, if you see a
It's
college,
pretty obvious.
like, maybe you can put in there, like, our itinerary for our game days. Like, it is planned out to the second when everything when everything goes on. Like, it literally is like 105, coin flip. This time, national anthem.
108 national anthem.
Like
it's planned out.
12:50
both coaches
run out.
Always know.
So her saying, "Oh, we didn't know. We have this. We're here." It's like, but you should, because if I would think
the speakers in that building are loud enough to hear from the locker room, I assume.
Yeah.
And you don't even make an attempt to come back out when they start talking about who's about to... Because they always announce, this is so-and-so, they will be singing the national anthem accompanied by this group holding the flags.
Yeah.
When you hear that, you should probably tell your team, oh yeah, let's go ahead and get out there. Apparently we're about to miss the national anthem. Obviously, you heard it, and we're like, it's fine.
Yeah. But it's when she said, like, oh, we didn't know. But the NCAA should have sent you the schedule of, okay,
You haven't missed the national anthem at any other site. So obviously you've had schedules of when the national anthem's going to happen. They don't change the schedule for the Sweet 16. And if they did, they sent you an updated schedule, so you should know.
It's say yeah, because I've had that happen where, like, my team, we came out a little late for the anthem.
In high school, you guys actually were outside for your national anthem?
Yeah, we were.
We weren't.
We would come out.
Well, we would stand at our door and listen to it. We just wouldn't go out on the field for it.
Yeah, so our locker rooms, like, because where we would play was like a shared complex for like every high school in the school district. So we would stand out.
That's where it was different for us. We had our own home stadium.
Yeah, you're private Christian. I was public school. But yeah, we would come out behind our banner, and then we would turn to the flag because our coach believed in us standing and doing all that for the anthem, and like sit like hearing it.
We would always pause our music in the locker room, and then we would go stand just outside the door typically. But we also had a flag in our locker room that we would run out with, an American flag.
Yeah, we did.
So
too.
Sometimes we would just do it on our own, and whenever we'd hear it playing, we just pause our music, and then we'd all face the flag we had in our locker room.
Yeah.
Rather than going out to the field, because typically we would play music as we walked out, and it would be kind of not. It wouldn't be kind. It would be definitely disrespectful for some of the music we played on our walkout if that was being played at the same time as the national anthem.
Yeah.
If you've never heard of Tekashi 6ix9ine, we played him on the way out of the locker room most games. So that would not have been. Yeah, that would not have been good.
Yeah, but I don't know. Just Kim Mulkey saying that, it's just like, I feel like something's up. Now, obviously, if that's the case, that they just accidentally missed it this time, which everything I've been seeing, it sounds like this isn't the first time that they haven't come out for the anthem.
It might be just a player-led thing. It wouldn't surprise me with.
Well, apparently even the coaches weren't out there either.
Well, here's the thing, though. The coaches are going to be on their own, and typically, at least what happened with us, was the coaches would be off on their own, and then when they saw us walking out, they would join us on the court. Because they would, let us do our own thing, do our own little pregame pep talks with each other and all that. Football was different. We walked out with a coach to come get us, and we'd walk out. But in basketball, coaches would just wait, and then when they saw us walking out, they would follow us out. So it would make sense if the coaches were in a different area.
Yeah, last minute things.
Yeah, because our coaches would do adjustments and stuff like that. So it kind of depends on what would happen. And then if it's if they were waiting for the players to come out, and then the coaches never see the players come out, well, they never, wouldn't have known. And it could be a player-led protest. It doesn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me with some of the people who are on LSU, like Angel Reese, who is so outspoken about everything, and it makes me mad sometimes. But she's so outspoken, it wouldn't surprise me if she was leading some form of protest. The best thing about it, though, is when she brought the crown out from when they won the national championship last year and sat it on the bench while Caitlin Clark was warming up, and then Caitlin Clark went and dropped them off. Beat their asses. The best way to put it. It's not an F-bomb, so it doesn't count for the counter. But, Here's the thing. When it gets to a point where your defenders, like Haley Van Lith, is shrugging after Caitlin Clark pulls up from NBA range, hits a three, that's when you know it's like, well, we're kind of done. Like, this game's kind of over. So,
yeah. NFL. Rashid Rice, after his accident.
Not Rashid. Rashid Rice.
Look, man, it auto-corrected, all right?
That's why I was fixing it for you.
Gosh darn it, I don't really care.
Well, he's a receiver for your Chiefs.
Yeah, I know, and it's autocorrect. I can't really fix that in the moment. Maybe you should have worked on this not 10 minutes before we started.
Hey, I've got a bunch of NBA stuff down.
You have worked on one. Roommates are breaking up, bro. Rashid Rice is working with the police after his accident. Found out, actually, there's a law in Texas that you could go to jail for 2 years, I think? I don't even remember how.
Hit and runs.
Mm-hmm. But someone else was, Tyler Cohen's Tico on TikTok. He was saying that supposedly they might have had pew-pews with them.
Oh, yes.
And that's why they ran?
Yeah, that, hey, that would make sense. And I heard someone say, Deegan was saying at lunch that the reason that they may not have turned themselves in right away was that they were probably drunk and trying to get themselves sober, so that way they wouldn't have to, they would pass all the, drug testing. And
that's
what
Tico was also saying on TikTok, was he thinks that they might have had some pew-pews and some of the
illegal substances and things that could harm someone to the point of not living anymore, because we don't know how something that could give you lead poisoning that could then cause you to not be alive anymore. That's why me and my mom always joke about it. If we ever joke about using one, we are just kind of beating around the bush because we don't know what YouTube likes and does not like with those words. So
yeah,
we're still learning all the YouTube guidelines. We're kind of just trial by fire.
Get demonetized, we get demonetized.
Well, we aren't even making any money, so
don't even think we can. Well, we can make some.
We'd have to put ads in, and I really don't want to have to deal with that. Or well, we wouldn't have to put ads in, but we'd have to go through the whole monetization section on YouTube, and that may be a summer thing for figuring out.
We have to also figure out if that counts towards our NIL or not.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Cameron Sutton turns himself in after the manhunt.
Month-long one at that.
This is
I will say this much, though. The thing I'm glad is that he is alive. Because there were a lot of rumors that he killed himself. Like, he unalived himself, as TikTok says it. I'll just mute that. But, like, where he was not alive anymore, and it would have been by his own doing. But there were a lot of people saying that may have happened, and I was really glad when he actually, because it's better to just turn yourself in than to take your own life.
Yeah.
So,
well, the other thing too was
at least now he can work it out with the police and maybe get less of a sentencing and all that.
Well, the other thing too was they found like a body in a water tank near Ford Field, apparently. Yeah. So a lot of people thought either it was him or he put him in there
to try to make people think that he had.
Yeah. It's a weird situation. So hopefully something comes out of it that we can go in depth with. Because right now it's like same thing with Rice's situations. It's just kind of like
we only have
skeptical.
The info that the police are giving out now. Unfortunately, we don't have connections in the Texas and Detroit police departments. Unfortunately,
no. Final bit of the NFL. R.I.P. Vontae Davis. Thoughts and prayers are with his family. What was he, like 37 when he died?
Something like that. He wasn't very old.
He was young. So R.I.P. to him. Great player.
Retired at halftime in the game, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, in the funniest way possible.
Yeah. So.
Hold on. I gotta see if he was in this show that I like.
Huh?
Have you never watched this show?
I can't read what you typed.
You ever watched the show Ballers?
No.
It's The Rock. He's a sports marketer, like a money manager, but he goes broke.
Mm-hmm.
And then so he's a former NFL player, It's really good. Me and my dad watch it.
Mm. You see, I watched NCS Los Angeles and stuff like that growing up.
I mean, I just started watching it, but it's pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't watch a lot of sports stuff.
If freaking Netflix didn't implement their new thing,
What new thing?
it's if you can't watch anything unless you're at your home Wi-Fi now.
They changed it.
Did they change it back to the original?
They got enough complaints from college students.
So I can watch Ballers now?
You should be able to.
We're gonna test that later.
Because I've been watching Netflix on my computer, which hasn't been on my home Wi-Fi since like December.
Awesome. I have a new show to watch when I get bored. I feel like I've been talking. You wanna do the last two?
Well, you're the one who did the first 4 parts of the script. I
Okay.
only wrote the NBA part, but the UFL is real difficult. I can figure out what you meant by that one.
UFL. What's your thoughts after week 1?
My Arlington Renegades let me down.
They did. They lost.
Yeah, but the Brahmas won. My second favorite team won. They had fat guy touchdown, so
Yeah. Beef.
yeah, gotta love it. As long as Destroying is having a good time, I am okay with it. Because I think it's about time he got his shot. So
I'm excited for him, by the way. Destroying.
yeah, on that fake kick, did you see that the opposing coach, iced him, and that's where they brought out the fake?
The funny part was the Brahmas coach was like, I have never thought in a million years to throw it to a center, but that worked out.
Here's the thing that is other thing about Destroying is he's athletic enough where they can actually run trick plays to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he could play receiver in a trick play situation, and then it still gives him the opportunity to kick.
Yeah. Bad news is my Battlehawks lost, but my second favorite team, the Panthers, did win.
Yeah, they beat the Battlehawks, I think.
Yeah, they did. Your Renegades are going down this week, though.
No, I don't think so. The Renegades played really well. They just ran into, who was it that we played?
Birmingham, the Stallions.
Yeah. Is it the UFL?
Yes. Okay. The United Football League.
Yeah. Ran into Matt Corral, dude.
He went. And Adrian Martinez, Nebraska legend.
Adrian Martinez was going to play the rest of the game if it wasn't for him getting hurt.
Hurt his knee after one drive.
Yeah. And then Matt Corral came back and improved why he should be the starter, and Adrian Martinez should never play another snap for the Stallions. So, yeah.
So that's our thoughts after week 1.
It's unfortunate. 27-14. It was not the greatest showing, but it was all right. The one that surprised me was the Defenders going down.
Yeah, that's right. That was
I expected them to get a win, but and the Memphis Showboats getting a win was big. First game and they got a win, but it's whatever.
Dude, Houston Roughnecks. That's an awesome team name, I think.
Yeah. Did they announce their MVP candidates? Who they think? They had AJ McCarron, Matt Corral, obviously, Jordan Ta'amu, Case Cookus, Luis Perez. It's basically just all the quarterbacks. Just every single starting quarterback is an MVP candidate at this point because no one knows how any of them are going to play. I think AJ could win. Theoretically, could realistically win it because he led the XFL last year in all the major passing stats, and he's got pro experience recently where he played in week 16 or week 14 for the Bengals against Indy. So he's got NFL. I think Corral would have a spot in the NFL, but he just never got the chance when he got drafted to the Panthers and ended up in New England. He just never got a shot.
Yeah.
But
all right, do your job.
Yes, the NBA. The reigning MVP, Joel Embiid, returned, and then they went and beat the Thunder by 4. Unfortunate as a Thunder fan, but Embiid didn't go too crazy. He only had like 20. I say only 20, but for him that's a low-scoring night. But he's back. He looks like he's healthy enough to finish down the stretch, and the 76ers really needed it because they just clinched a spot in more than likely play-in. they aren't going to probably get a 6 seed. But right now, the only team there's 2 spots available or 1 spot available up for grab in the Eastern Conference, and the Hawks and the Nets are fighting for it. They are the last 2 teams that are still in playoff contention. One of the 2 has to get the final playoff spot. Right now, it would go to the Hawks, I believe, if I remember reading that correctly. But other than that, the top 9 teams in the Eastern Conference have all got their definite we're going to be in the playoff scenario. It's just a matter of who's going to be the last one out of the East. And then the West, it's a much different story. You only have 3 teams that have clinched an actual playoff spot. And then the Clippers can still make the playoffs, or they're still going to make the playoffs, but they're still in the risk of ending up in a play-in game. But you've got everyone from the Mavericks as the 5 seed to the 11-seeded Rockets. Every spot of that is still up for grabs. So one of the teams that is in it right now will possibly not make it, depending on how the Rockets play. But the Rockets have lost their last 2 despite their win streak before that. So we'll see if they cooled off, which would mean we'd get a crazy play-in scenario. We'd get Kings versus Warriors again in a play-in game, and we'd get Suns-Lakers again. So,
as a partial Suns fan, just because I love their court design, I'm kind of hoping for that.
Suns-Lakers. I think the Suns could beat the Lakers, too.
I do, too.
But that means right now, if we were to look at playoff matchups for the East and the West, the Nuggets and the Timberwolves would get, but the Thunder are still in range of getting that last spot with the T-Wolves. The top 3 seeds can still switch around who gets there, but right now you'd look at the Nuggets as the 1 seed and the T-Wolves as the 2, and they would get the results of the play-in game. That's how they would get it. Then you'd look at Clippers-Mavs playing each other, which would be a fun rematch between Luka and the Clippers. If you remember the bubble when that happened, first year of Paul George and Kawhi, they had to play each other. And then Thunder-Pelicans, which I think is a really easy series for the Thunder to get, which I would be okay with because I really don't want to play any of the 4 play-in teams. Just with the playoff experience there, I'd rather play an unexperienced Pelicans team, so I'd be okay with coming in as a 3 seed. Because then we'd let Lakers, Warriors, Kings, Suns all beat up on each other, and then they would have to go and beat up on the Nuggets or the T-Wolves. So we would get 2 teams that have been through we would get a team that's been through a really, really tough test at that point. And then your Western and your Eastern Conference, Celtics have the 1 seed secured. They are going to be the 1 seed. You got 2 seed for the Bucks. The Cavs are the 3 seed. 4 seed would be the Magic. 5 seed would be the Knicks. 6 seed would be the Pacers. Your play-in teams would be the Bulls versus the Hawks at the current moment. Like I said, the Nets could take that last spot from the Hawks. And then you've got 76ers would play the Heat in the other play-in game, which would be a dope play-in game because Embiid's back. But, I mean, right now, it's looking pretty good as a Thunder fan, it's looking pretty good for us. And I know I told you to have your award guesses down, and I said that, and then I never actually wrote mine down. So we'll just
Idiot.
We'll just have to. We'll talk.
We'll do that next week. How about that?
Or we could talk about it now because the play-in tournament starts in a week and a half.
Well, perfect. Gives us to Wednesday.
Or we could just talk about. We'll just save it. We'll save it. That way, Will has more time to research it because the only reason he doesn't is because he doesn't have it researched at all. I know who all my winners. Like if I was to go through all the awards, I would give all mine.
Just wait till we talk about WWE next week.
Yeah, I don't watch WWE. I don't plan on watching any WWE, so I'm just gonna let him talk about that.
You'll get my frustrations and excitements about WrestleMania.
Well,
dude, now I get to watch the whole show and don't have to worry about it since our track meet got moved.
Oh,
so excited, man.
Our track meet, you mean Concordia's that I have to work.
And I have to go watch for an hour.
For you get to just go watch. I have to actually work the thing. I will be using that as an excuse to try to get out of Gabriel M. Haley's class.
That's fair, though.
Because we have tests that day, and I really don't want to go take it.
See, I was thinking about this, though. Because I've never done track. But an hour time frame, that's like one race. If that. Right?
No.
No, like I'm talking, not like heat.
No.
How many do you think you can get through? This is coming
Typically
from
an hour.
this is coming from someone who's never done track or field before.
I've done track.
That's why I'm asking you.
Typically, like in high school, you could get through, depending on how many heats there are. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
If there are like, because in college your teams are much smaller than what you had in high school, and you're not going to have as many teams there, more than likely, than what you had in high school. Because in high school tournaments, you'd have like 13 teams, and each of them would bring 100 people. Well, now you're probably talking about maybe 60 or 70 actually running per team, and there's only probably going to be 8 teams here. If I had to make a guess, like I don't know the exact number, but I think they're probably going to get through 4 events, would be my guess. Especially if we come in and watch during the sprints. If we come in and watch like the 2 mile, yeah, it's going to take a while to get through the 2 mile. But if we come in for like the 100, the 2 open 1, the open 2, like the open 4, the 110 hurdles, stuff like that, it'll be like 4 events we can get through, 4 or 5.
See, that's what my thought process was. Like,
It all depends on what events we have to come and watch.
We might have to text our local track expert, Landon Washington.
Well, he probably has the schedule. He could probably tell us, and then we just need to figure out when Grindy wants us to all show up.
4 to 5.
Is that what he said?
Mm-hmm. Unless it's going to change since we have meetings.
No, that's why we did 2 days of install today.
Well, we were going to do 2 days No, you're right.
Because we'll have the last day of install tomorrow, and then Friday we'll be probably just review and ask questions. That way we can go to the track meet.
Probably.
Because they're probably not planning on us having meetings on... Because we show up at 3:45, and if we have to go watch track from 4 to 5,
Yeah.
they're not going to have us do meetings. That's why we
Plus,
doubled
you'll have
up.
guys gone working concessions.
That's why we doubled up.
Unless Nelson said that we were already doubling it. Because I know he said we were going over 2 and 3.
Yeah, but that would explain why we doubled it up today. Because he said we were going to go over 2 and 3 He said he was going to be on the next 2 meetings, and he said we'd go over day 2 and 3 of install. He never said we were going to go over day 4 of install. So I think they just doubled up because we're going to have the track meet on Friday. That makes sense. I was wondering why they forced us to double up today. I was like, that seems like way too much in one day, but no,
that really was not.
It really wasn't.
That went by so quick, I feel.
All right, let's get back to NBA talk.
I thought we were done. Oh gosh, we have
I literally
more?
just talked about Embiid in the playoffs.
We have 3 more things.
Yeah, not Sean. That's the quarterback for the. Sean Clifford is the quarterback for the Packers. I accidentally said that today when I was talking to Coy about Steve Clifford stepping down. But Steve Clifford will be stepping down at the end of the season as in the head coaching position for the Charlotte Hornets. Which I'm surprised they didn't just fire him because he's been so bad the last 2 years. But he's now moving into a front office role, which for Steve Clifford I think makes sense. He's more of a front office minded guy anyway. And then final thing, D-Book. 3 straight games against the Pelicans in which he's had 50 plus. The last 3 times he's played the New Orleans Pelicans, he's had 50 plus. Which is just crazy work. If you're a Pelicans fan, you do not want to see Devin Booker. That's what I'm hearing.
That's crazy, man. Like 50 points in one game.
Yeah. Although this is the same dude who dropped 70 in like his second year in the league, so
True.
we can't really he's just a scorer at heart. And then, like I said, only one playoff spot up for grabs in the East. And the only teams that have clinched playoff berths that don't have to deal with the play-in tournament: Celtics, Nuggets, T-Wolves, and Thunder. Only 4 that are not at risk of being in the play-in right now. So, do with that information what you will, which means there's still a lot of games that are going to be meaningful games coming down the stretch. The only 4 that don't really have a care right now are the Celtics, Nuggets, Thunder, and T-Wolves, but the Nuggets, the Thunder, and the T-Wolves all still have the 1 seed up for grabs in the West, so they're still all going to be playing. The Celtics have such a large lead, they could just arrest everybody for the rest of the season and not have any issues. So, we'll see. The only issue with that would be the new, resting rule about how you have to play 65 games to be to have the ability to win an award.
I feel like we're way past 65 games, though.
Yeah.
For a lot
There's
of
only
guys.
10 left. So
Yeah.
a lot of those guys. But
Well,
there are
that's what I'm
some that may
saying.
have missed time early in the season.
Yeah, maybe.
Like Halliburton missed 10 games early in the season, I think, with his hammy. Or his groin. It was his groin. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there were a lot of guys that just missed its and bits of time where they may have missed like 1 or 2 games, but I know SGA has got to finish out the year if he wants to be in MVP voting, I think, because he's missed like 3 games, so he could rest the rest of the year, but with how close the MVP race is, he needs to come out and have some more games like he's had. Oh my gosh.
Excuse you.
Well, that's all I've got for NBA, unless there's something you see on the NBA list that you want to ask about, Mr. I don't watch professional basketball.
Dude, it's just it kind of bores me, I'll be honest with you.
How does Oh, okay, that's fair.
It's just I feel like it's kind of like sometimes watching kids play in the yard. Hear me out.
I'm going to need to hear you out.
I worded that weirdly. I just feel like they complain after every little thing.
It's mainly a Lakers thing, but yes, I see where you're talking about. Just don't watch the Lakers if you don't want to see that.
I mean, could I get into it more? Yes. I like basketball, but I just feel like NBA players, like something, like they get touched a little bit, and it's like that should be penalty, or, you know.
I just realized we forgot to mention something with college basketball. We can circle back, because talking about the Lakers reminded me of it. There's a certain NBA son who entered the transfer portal.
Oh, LeBron! Yeah, Bronny.
Ronnie entered the transfer portal. Yeah, I forgot to put that. I forgot. That's what... Talking about the Lakers and my hatred for LeBron. Sorry, Keith Bell. But my hatred for LeBron came out. Yeah. And that reminded me.
He's been teasing different jerseys on Twitter. Have you seen that?
That's a fake account.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. You can buy the check mark now on Twitter, so that's a fake account.
Yeah, I'm aware, because it's so stupid with messaging now.
Yep.
NHL. Quickly, the New York Islanders and New Jersey Devils just got into a massive line brawl. Like 8 guys got ejected.
I only care about one NHL player, and it's Connor Bedard, the baby-faced assassin.
Okay, there, pal. Bedard bandwagon over there.
Well, I don't like him because his ability to play hockey. I just think he's got a great-looking face. I'm not gay, but he's got a good-looking face. That's all I'm going to say. He's got a great-looking jaw on him. Like, I mean,
his jaw's broken.
Well, since it's been fixed, it looks really, really good. It's not the only thing of his that looks really, really good, but, you know, hey.
Be happy and depressed like me. Be a Vegas Golden Knights fan.
I don't have a team. Whatever team Connor Bedard's on, I'm cheering for that team.
The Chicago Blackhawks.
I'm a Chicago Blackhawks fan then.
Name me one Chicago Blackhawks player other than Connor Bedard.
I couldn't name you one, but that's
exactly.
But I like Connor Bedard.
Can you name one former Chicago Blackhawks player?
No. Actually, I like whatever the Sabretooths are. Isn't that Memphis? No, is it where is it?
Nashville?
I knew it was Tennessee.
Predators?
Yeah, the Predators. There you go. Because Carrie Underwood's husband played for them for a little bit. Still does, I think.
Who's her husband?
Good question. I just know he played for them for a little bit.
You don't know Patrick Kane, Corey Crawford, Jonathan Taves?
No, none of those names sound familiar. Mike Fisher.
Marc-Andre Fleury. Do you not know who Flower is?
No. Now let's look up Mike Fisher NHL. Mike Fisher.
Can you name me one former Nashville Predators player?
No. Yeah. Well, Mike Fisher. I can name you a former Mike Fisher. There you go.
He's currently on the team, is he not?
Is he?
I don't know.
Career.
You're the.
Let's see. Does he still play? I know who Trevor Zegras is, though.
He's on Anaheim right now, I think. You don't know who PK Subban is?
No, he retired in 2017, 2018.
Oh, okay.
So he's a former Predators player.
All right, you got me.
This is going to be fun to edit tonight. Welcome back. You will see a jump cut between when...
You're going to forget to do it, and you know it.
No, I'm going to remember. I'm going to write myself a mental note that I'm going to forget. But, you know, his nicknames were Fishy, Fish, and Meat for Mike Fisher.
Okay. hell was that?
It's my stomach.
We just ate.
Yeah. Well, he played for the Ottawa Senators and then the Nashville Predators. So, yes.
What are the other ones?
That's it.
Oh.
That's just when the jerseys changed.
Oh.
Like whenever they had rebrands.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
Not really.
All
I need to
right.
stop myself before I say something.
Excuse
Golly.
you. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, comment what we should talk about next, because I almost said Monday. Sunday, we're going to talk about our predictions for the Final Four. Or no, for the National Championship. Because that'll be the next day. And we'll talk about the Final Four, whatever.
We'll talk about Final Four games, then we'll talk about who we think can actually win the national championship.
Don't give pissed about nothing but the Tide.
The Tide are not making it.
Roll Tide. No, probably not. And then
DJ Burns bandwagon right now, though.
dude, that man is awesome. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you on Sunday. Hopefully,
We should. We'll see you on Sunday.
if Josiah remembers to upload.
I will remember to upload. See you on Sunday.
Doesn't get